decreased, and sludge buildup was greatly reduced. Mr. Takeo Nakagawa, the president of the International Federation for Environmental Management Systems, IFEMS, praises the initiative from an environmental accounting standpoint. Regardless of the technology to be used, the key is to accurately evaluate costs and benefits and to determine the bottom line. Heading south along the Seto Inland Coastal Highway, we next visit Yoshiumi-cho in Ehime Prefecture. There, we spoke with Mrs. Hiroko Yano, the head of the women's group of the Tsukura Fishermen's Cooperative. The women's group of the Tsukura Co-op has been actively involved in cleaning up the town's rivers using effective microorganism mixtures. Mrs. Yano had this to say about her experiences with EM. The problem of diatomaceous algae growth in the Seto Inland Sea is particularly serious this year. By applying microorganism mixtures, the stones along the water channels became really clean. These stones were as black as tar before. Now they're incredibly clean. When the women's group began pouring activated EM water into the water channels, I was surprised by the results we achieved. It was really amazing. First, the sludge-ridden clumps of marine algae floated up to the surface. As the sludge and slime disappeared, marine life began to return. We were truly amazed to discover turtle footprints during the ebb tide. We also poured microorganism solution into the fountain, with the result that the fountain is now cleaner and easier to maintain. Since the water from the fountain flows into the Seto Inland Sea, the seawater is becoming cleaner every day. Educators in the town are also using EM microorganism technology in their efforts to teach children valuable lessons about environmental cleanup and stewardship. Miss Yuri Watanabe, a teacher with the Yoshiumi Elementary School, reflects on what the school has been able to accomplish in this regard using EM. The wastewater we generate in our homes eventually flows into the river and then into the sea. We thought it would be a terrific idea if we could help clean up the river, at least enough to restore some marine life. We started on a small scale by adding activated microorganism solutions to the water in 1998. We've been doing this now for 3 years. Where there used to be mud and sludge, we now have beautiful sandy stretches. The sand is back once again for everyone to see and enjoy. We want the children to understand that the environment is in trouble and needs our help. We want them to know that they too can help. It's very important that the younger generation learn to think for themselves and take action. Let's now cross the Kurushima Straits, destination Shikoku Island. Another site of the successful use of effective microorganisms is Imabari City in Ehime Prefecture. Imabari City, known for its towel production, is home to nearly 24 textile dyeing factories. The Aruzuya River, which flows directly through the middle of the city, is now polluted, the result of wastewater generated by homes and industrial plants throughout Imabari. In recent years, residents have grown increasingly aware of these problems as sludge and summertime odors have grown worse. To improve the city's water quality, volunteer groups are working hand in hand with the government, producing startling results. Mr. Hisao Takenaka, the president of the Imabari Environmental Improvement Society, describes what has been done to date and the city's aspirations for the future. We wanted to do something which would produce visible results. We made balls of organic material mixed with EM. Commonly called bokashi, these balls of organic mixture were applied to those areas which had the greatest sludge buildup. We also prepared effective microorganism solutions which were poured into the river once a week. We would perform weekly fixed point inspections. We did this for about 6 months. We were able to see the results of our labor in the very first month. We found tubifex worms, which did not inhabit the water before. We also found small fish swimming around, as well as turtles and snakes. This was proof that conditions in the river had improved. We realized that we had succeeded in improving both the quality of the water as well as its natural ecosystem. The proof of this lies in the fact that since we started applying EM, there is more marine life in the water: small fish, crabs, turtles, snakes. We found smaller, more fragile life forms making their way further upstream. We applied the solutions rain or shine, even during storms. We explained to the residents that we didn't need to use masks or protective hats, gloves, or clothing when handling EM. The residents were pleased to learn that the microorganism compounds were completely safe. After we began the cleanup project, the residents began seeing improvements in the adjacent rivers as well. They also noticed significant improvement in the odor situation during the summer months. In some parts of the river, odors were completely eliminated. Imabari City Councilman Mr. Seto had this to say: "Our idea was to clean up the Arazuya River here in Imabari by involving citizens in a volunteer effort. In my district, we have a river called the Asagawa River. The river water was very dirty, so we decided to use rice rinse water activated with beneficial microorganisms to clean it up. Another project we are currently working on is the Imabari Castle Moat Cleanup Project. The castle is about to celebrate its 400th birthday. Microorganisms were used to reduce the sludge and smells in the castle's moat. This cleanup effort is being championed by a local non-profit volunteer organization.